Hey, my beautiful, lovely souls. This is Lizzie the Lightworker here. So I'm trying something different, guys. This was Scorpio and Sagittarius twin flame union, genderless. Because there's so many combinations to get into. I feel like it's just a lot better. The energy flows a lot better this way because a lot of you say, I generally resonate more with the divine masculine energy, but I'm the divine female, or it's in reverse. So this can eliminate a lot of that. So Scorpio and Sagittarius in separation. A lot, I feel like, went wrong here with this. I feel like to Scorpio, this was so sudden, so shocking, so devastating that it shook their foundations. And it shook their foundations of love to the point that they just turned their back on it. They were hurt by this. They were deeply, deeply, deeply devastated by this. To them, it felt like it was built up, and then it blew up right in your faces. I feel like there was arguing, fussing, fighting going on, suspicions. I feel like anger. There was a lot here. And I feel like Scorpio now is in this energy where they've turned their back on this, but they haven't healed it. It's like they feel like out of sight, out of mind. They're still thinking about their divine Sagittarius. They still want to be with their divine. They have put Sagittarius the forefront of all their thoughts. And I do feel like this was just a cycle that needed to play out a bit for them. I also feel like if you both are finding this video and wondering if it's true twin, yes, it is. And that's why it's such a turmoilous, a turmoil thing. I feel like Sagittarius may have been a little more in a youthful aspect of this. They still feel love towards Scorpio. They have nothing but love towards you. To them, they needed to work through a lot of their issues about control. I feel like they were very it sort of like felt like they were in competition or struggling with things, or there was no seeing eye to eye. They felt like they wanted to have the control. They felt like they needed to have it, like to manage it. A relationship doesn't need a manager. It needs two people to come together and to sort of put their differences aside and learn how to compromise. So there was no compromises here. And I feel like it was a lot of work for the two of these people. I feel like it was more on Scorpio. I feel like Scorpio really wanted to work at this. They really wanted a partner here. They needed to know that you were going to be there for them and you were going to be a full partner to them. They would have kept putting in the work, but I feel like there was a lot of fighting and a lot of arguing. And I do feel like there could have even been a situation where someone left another partner and you got together and there was turmoil from the past that really interrupted the flow of the energy here. This also would not have been the time for you to be together. I feel like you activated each other in ways that you needed to see. Scorpio, I think, put a little too much into it. They were expecting a totally different result. They really thought that they had their ultimate partner. They were going to be with Sagittarius and they were going to grow. And that it was just going to be sort of a very natural thing. Sagittarius, I feel like, had a lot of infatuation feelings. I think that they were infatuated and they had to realize once Scorpio was gone that now, oh, that was love. Okay. I also feel like they had to do a lot of self-love. And I feel like what Scorpio has done is evolved, and they are this person that they will provide. They want to be in a relationship and be very traditional. They want to be, they have something to build. They have something to give. They have something to bring to the table. I feel like that is Scorpio. Scorpio's energy is more for the grounded, practical, reasonable, business sense, saving money, elevating themselves in life so they have a lot to offer. It's also a little bit of a colder energy only because it's not a passionate driven and it's not emotional driven. It's sort of very grounded driven where they want to have stability in life. They want a stable partner and a stable partnership. That's why this was so painful. It's sort of, I feel like Scorpio, it feels like they didn't see it coming with Sagittarius. But I feel like it ended in fighting, or there was fighting going on or arguing going on that really led to the sort of diminishing of the union here, or pushing them both into separation. pushing them both into aspects where they need to realize these things. I feel like Scorpio was chasing. I feel like Sagittarius was a bit conflicted about like love and relationships. I feel like both of you have been hurt in the past, and both of you may have brought that, not even realizing it, to this. And I feel like there's a lot of commitment fears, a lot of sort of control issues, some manipulative behavior. I feel like there's fear here. There might be some codependency. There might be some addictions. There could be lots of things with the Devil card, only because it has to do with our fears and our temptations. So I feel like maybe Sagittarius got tempted by another situation. It could be that. It could be that, you know, both of you need to realize the darkness within yourselves to bring light to the situation. Because we can have no dark without light. Each of you carries an energy in separation. Sagittarius is carrying a defensiveness, a conflict and control energy, where they feel like unless they have all the control, they can't be in a relationship. They need to navigate the relationship. It may be an issue that they have. It could be an ego issue or an immaturity issue. It could be that they never had control, or they've always been this way, or they themselves were controlled in a controlling energy by another partner, or by in a home where they grew up. So they carry an energy of defensiveness. This includes passive aggressiveness. Scorpio carries an energy of frustration over the fact that they presented themselves as the perfect partner. They wanted to work at this. They hold Sagittarius the forefront of their mind. They are the world to them. They would have given them the world. They would have kept working, breaking their back to please Scorpio. So that's why they're in an energy of frustration. They need to reevaluate the entire situation. Scorpio, you need to reevaluate your feelings. What do you need? What do you want? What do you desire? You need to reevaluate this relationship from start to end. Reevaluate your feelings now. Look at past relationships. You need to have more patience and trust your journey. Trust your journey that it's going to lead you back to your twin when it's right. And Sagittarius needs to look that they have to open up to sort of not needing to be right all the time, and not being defensive when someone's trying to do good for you or show you something that you don't want to see, because that's what twin flame union's all about, guys. Being shown something that we don't want to see, and it makes us defensive. It makes us lash out. It makes us argue. It makes us project. We start to project our problems onto our twin, and we want our twin to fix it in a subconscious way. And our twin is willing to do that because we are to elevate each other to the highest light. There is no violence or hatred in twin flame union. It's mistakes we make, but we have to look within. The secret is within us. Our own secret that needs to be exposed into healing. That's the hardest thing to do in the world. So meeting it with defensiveness, Sagittarius, that was a problem for Scorpio. I feel like Scorpio was slightly more elevated in their spiritual journey, their awareness of spiritual journey and spiritual beliefs. I feel like Sagittarius is more, they're a little more fly by the seat of their pants. They will go with their passions and go with the flow, and they will defend themselves and defend their loved ones. But to me, I feel like Sagittarius couldn't put the pieces together sort of in a helpful way that needed, that's what Scorpio needed. Scorpio needed it to be put together. Scorpio also needs to feel love. They need to feel the admiration and attention. Sagittarius also needs that, but they're for different reasons. There's different needs behind those energies. So I want to pull one more each. Why are these energies still being carried? How can we release them is what we need to know. So I'm going to pull these healing cards. So how could these energies be released for Scorpio? There's inner child work, Scorpio. It could be that there's things from the past or ways that you saw your parents behave, or things that you needed, resolved with your parents, or maybe, your parents were divorced and carried an energy of, sort of, I don't know, feelings that nothing was ever going to be right. So you had to make yourself be this perfect person and you worked very hard on yourself, and then you got sort of a little bit rejected by Sagittarius, or things just didn't work out the way that you needed them to. Spirit is pulling us to inner child. There's something that happened in the past that made you feel this way and put you in this energy. And Sagittarius, we're getting take off your masks. So Sagittarius, you may be hiding things about yourself. You may be not ready yet to reveal the darker parts of yourself. You don't want to seem weak. You don't want to seem like, you're flawed or damaged. You'd rather argue. You'd rather put up a front. You'd rather, carry that energy of like a wall and fight and fight and fight until you fall on the floor. So really, it's all about the surrender, guys. The surrender between Scorpio and Sagittarius. So Scorpio, what do you need to surrender? Denial. Wow. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. So Scorpio, I feel like there are some things about Sagittarius you will have no choice but to accept. I feel like you don't really have a huge problem with that. There could be things within yourself that you're not ready to accept, though. So things within yourself that you need to surrender, that you're denying. Not specifically denial. Look within. Ask yourself whatever pops in your head is what you need help or work with. And Sagittarius, creativity. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. So Sagittarius might not be as open as they appear to be. When your twin flame is reflecting to you that they need an openness, Sagittarius might be just more focused on what they need to do to keep themselves appealing well, how they react with others well, what they do at their job. They might be more worried about that part of life. And that deters them from having, solid relationships or putting energy into relationships when they feel a little more infatuated and they need more time for something to grow. And Scorpio had a more of a, I kind of need it and want it now energy. So I would like to wrap up with some fortune reading cards. So I want to see fortunes that we can expect, let's just say within the next 3 months of this union. And we're getting the Fool. So this is new beginnings. So I feel like you guys have to clear up old things before you can have new beginnings. I also feel like you have to accept the fact that this is a new beginning and not an ending. It's not an ending. Or we are divinely connected to our twin that is forever, that is eternal. So I feel like this is both of you having to enter new phases of life, leaving behind old patterns, old ways, old thinking, old behaviors, all those things. Shed the relationships of the past. I feel like this is like a phoenix thing for both of you. You need to come out of your shells, come out of the old you. I feel like this is an opening up. This is like a beautiful thing for 2020. I feel like it's like finally going to be an elevation of energy where you're shedding all of this and you're renewing yourselves for each other. I hope you enjoyed this way that I've done this. I can certainly go back to the other way that I've done it, but I figured it would be nice to sort of study this and get a perspective on it before I started the video. So I hope that these messages were helpful. Please check the description box. You can access my private reading link information there, and also Twin Flame Separation group that I have started on Facebook. Love and light to you all. Thanks for watching. This has been Lizzie the Lightworker.